Hey guys, and welcome to another Escape Wheel watch review. Today we're going to be looking at the Phorcydes PH1. You can pick this up on the official Phorcydes site for somewhere between $270 and $300, and we'll get into some of the options that you can choose with this thing a little bit later. So, first thing I want to thank Calvin Tan. So I've mentioned him once or twice before. And he reached out to me and a bunch of other YouTubers and kind of set up this thing that we're dubbing the League of Watches. So I'm going to leave all of the reviewers' links down below, as well as Calvin's Instagram account. If it wasn't for him and it wasn't for the League of Watches, this wouldn't be here. So a huge thank you to them. But yeah, I don't get to keep this watch. So I'll be sending this on to the next reviewer, but not before I give you my thoughts and opinions on it. So, first off, let's start with the dimensions. So this is a big boy. All right, so we've got a diameter of 45 millimeters. We've got a lug to lug, right about 50 millimeters right on the dot. We've got a 22 millimeter lug width. And the thickness is 15.3. So it is not a small watch, at all. But I know some people are into that. And the nice thing about this thing is that, you know, it's a big rugged looking watch, but it's also 500 meter water resistant, and it's going to be able to take a beating. So the case finishing itself, it's a polished black. It's actually DLC, so that's diamond light coating. I don't know if it's a hardening process or what, but I mean, this thing is mint condition, and like I said, it's a review unit, so it's been all over the world. This thing came from Aviv on the My Affordable Watch Collection channel. He's in Israel, so this thing's been all over the world in a bunch of hands of a bunch of different reviewers, and I mean, I'm telling you, it looks mint. So that tells you, you know, how durable this thing is, and it's gloss black too, so you know that stuff picks up scratches like crazy. I'm telling you, this thing is mint. So really impressive. The bezel on this thing, it's a matte bezel. You can see the teeth on it, nice and grippy, tons and tons of grip on this bezel. The insert is a circular brushing. It's got a Lume pip at the 12 o'clock position, and then it's got this interesting setup where it's got your 15-minute dive countdown timer here. And then the 15, 30, and 45 markers actually have the numerals in them. And then all the 5-minute markings are just a little polished dot. And gives it a pretty cool look, I think. You can see from the side here, they're kind of raised up. So very toolish look to it. And the bezel action on this, it's pretty good. It's not great. Once it locks in, it's pretty solid. It's not really going to go anywhere. I haven't ever accidentally bumped it, so it's like the perfect resistance, I think. It kind of changes sound, though, from 9 o'clock to about the 4 o'clock. So let's listen to this, see if you can hear it. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe it's just got a little gunk up in there or something. I'm not sure, but either way, no matter where it is here, it's a solid bezel action. It's 120 clicks, and yeah, I've got no real complaints with it other than it kind of sounding funny. If it was the same sound all the way around, you know, no big deal, but it does change sound, so something's going on there. Just not sure what exactly. But like I said, it's a big chunky watch. It weighs 165 grams on this rubber strap. And just for context, my San Martin sub on the bracelet size for my wrist is 155 grams. So it's a big, heavy, chunky dive watch. It looks pretty cool. Here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. All right, so here it is on the wrist. You can see it sits pretty tall, but it's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be just based on the dimensions. Sorry about it not wanting to focus for you guys, but here you go. So it's a really cool look. You can see out here, even in direct sunlight, you know, it's easy to read the AR coating working really well to keep the reflections down. You got pretty cool light play out there on the bezel. And if you pop back into the shade here, you can see the lume is already glowing. So the lume on this thing, like I said, is just a monster. Really cool. And again, 7¼ inch wrist for reference. So it fits me pretty well, but might not be for everybody. All right, and back to the case real quick. I just want to flip it over. You can see the bottom is also polished, and then it's got a stainless steel screw-in case back. Just your typical notches there to grab onto. It's nicely signed with the Phorcydes PH1. They're a pretty cool logo here. And then it says Phorcydes Sapphire Crystal, 500-meter water resistant and stainless steel. So it's a pretty simple case back. So let's get onto the crystal. So the crystal on this, it's a double dome sapphire crystal. You can see it's got pretty good distortion at extreme angles there. It's got plenty of AR coating. It's hard, I mean, it doesn't really show up that well on camera that it's AR coated, but it's definitely there. Yeah, it's a really nice crystal. I like it. The dial on this thing, it's a sandwich dial. So if you guys don't know what that is, it's like 2 layers. So there's a bottom layer, which is lumed, and then there's a top layer with the cutouts. So it gives a pretty cool, kind of like a 3D depth to it. I'm hoping you guys can see that. Really nicely done, actually. And so you got the double batons at the 12, single batons at 3, 6, and 9. So there's no date complication on this. We'll get to that in just a second. You got Phorcydes submersible, and then professional 500 meters, and then 1640 feet. So really clean dial, very clean. You notice there's no minute trackers around here. So when you're kind of in this area outside of that 15-minute dive timer, you're not going to get a very accurate reading. So it's about 217, 218 or so. So that's just something to keep in mind. Obviously, we're talking about cheap, affordable, automatic. So accuracy isn't a big deal to us usually, right? So not a huge deal. Just wanted to point that out. And then you see that submersible text. So I think that's kind of a nod to the Panerai submersible, which kind of has the same dial and same bezel look to it. So yeah, that's kind of a cool little touch, I think. The handset on this, it's skeletonized, and you'll see all this tan lume that you see is all lumed. Even on the orange needle second hand, that tip there, the counterbalance tip, that is also lumed. So it's a nice touch, and the lume on this thing is absolutely bonkers. I mean, it is nuts. So here's a Lume Shot, and as you can see, so I got my San Martin on the left and the Pagani design on the right hand side, and this Phorcydes is just, I mean, it's just insane how bright it is. Really, really cool, very impressive. It lasts all night long. I have no problems reading it. Yeah, this is a lume monster for sure. All right, so let's talk about that no date option, right? So this is a Seiko NH35, and if you know anything about that, you know that it is a date complication. So this does have a screw down crown at the 4 o'clock position. It's got nice action on it, pops out really good. It does have a ghost date position. So you pop it out once, you see it's not hacking. You can hear that date complication ticking away behind it. So just another thing just to note, not a huge deal to me, I don't think. One nice thing about this crown, you can see it's got that groove right here. And that's a nice place. Instead of digging your nails underneath the bottom of the crown, you can just grab onto this part right up here with your nails and pop it out. And there you go. You pop it up to the second position. NH35, it's got hacking and hand winding, all that fun stuff. So it's what you'd expect from the NH35. I haven't really checked the accuracy on this thing, but I haven't noticed it gaining or losing too much, so not a problem. And then the screwing action on this works really well, nice and smooth. One of the nicer screw down crowns I've operated. So let's talk about the strap on this bad boy. So this is a 22 millimeter strap. I believe it tapers. I haven't actually measured it. Let's measure it real quick. So like I said, it starts at 22 millimeters. 21 and a half. There you go. And then it tapers down to about 20. That's what I was kind of suspecting. About a 2 millimeter taper. So Yeah, it's a really nice strap. Very, pretty thick. It does have this, preformed part to it, so it wraps around your wrist nicely. Um, I would love to put this on other straps, but I just don't have any other 22 millimeter straps on me, so kind of a bummer. Um, but yeah, the actual strap itself, it's super soft, very flexible. Actually, really, really like the strap, and yeah, I'm hoping to get some of these in the future. Just found a place that sells a strap that looks exactly like this, so hopefully I can get some of those. But and it also does have the quick release pins, so that's nice to see. Definitely a bonus in my opinion. The keepers on this, so you got one floating keeper, which is nice, and then this one is kind of locked into place. I mean, it's not locked into place. You can pop it off that if you really wanted to, but it's kind of locked into place by these little keeper holder things. I don't know, but yeah, really nicely done. And the buckle on this, really, really cool. It's a signed Phorcydes buckle. It's a nice big tang, very solid feeling. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about this. And the cool thing about it is, I'm going to see if you can see it here. Maybe not. There you go. It's actually a loomed buckle. So that's pretty cool. Nice attention to detail. So as for quality control issues, not much. The only thing I noticed was the 15 on this bezel here. You can see it right there. It's just a little bit crooked. That's it. That's the only quality control issue that I could find. So there you have it. That's the Phorcydes PH1. If you guys are interested in purchasing one of these, like I said, I'm going to leave a link down below. It comes in all sorts of colors and all sorts of configurations. So you can get this with a quartz movement. That drops the price by like 20 bucks, I think. But you can get this in a white dial, a blue dial, a green dial. You can get it with white loom. You can get it with vintage loom like this one. You can get it with BGW9 loom. You can get it with a black bezel on a silver case. You can get it in an all polished case. You can get the bezel silver. So there's lots and lots of options. I suggest going to check out their site that I'm going to link below, and just see what you can get, because you can get some pretty cool options on this thing. All right, so if you guys are interested in any more pictures of this, I'm going to be posting at least a couple to my Instagram. I didn't wear this as much as I wanted to, just because it's so big for me. So, but yeah, I will post some pictures on my Instagram. I'm going to link that down below. So if you guys enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please consider subscribing or leaving a thumbs up. If you guys leave a question down below, please do. I try my best to write everybody back, and sometimes I'll miss your message, but usually I try and get to everybody and answer their questions. And that's about it, guys. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.